You can join a Google Meet a couple different ways. One is if you go to meet.google.com, or if you have the Google Meet app on your Chromebook, you will have a screen that looks like this, and your calendar events that have a Google Meet link attached will be listed here. Alternatively, you can go into Google Calendar, and again, if you or whoever created the event has clicked the blue button to add a Google Meet link, which if I do one here, right there, add Google Meet video conferencing. Once you've done that, if you're ready to join this one, you can just click that blue button there and join. Either way, they both get you to the same spot. I already have a Google Meet started with my buddy Mike here. Just kind of give you an overview of the layout. At the bottom is where you turn on and off your microphone. I have mine turned off for right now just because of the video recording. I can turn on closed captions for myself. So if I unmute myself and I click on closed captions, what I say is supposed to show up down here at the bottom. It will do the best that it can. It would also bring in anyone else that is in the call. Turn those off for now. If you would need to raise your hand, or if someone in the meeting needs to raise their hand, they can do that. If you are going to share your screen, that is this button right here where it says present now. There is a square and a arrow. So if I click on that, it's going to give me some options. So I can do my entire screen. I can do a certain window. So I know some teachers use a separate document camera to show items. You could do that through here. If you're just doing a Google slide, you could also do a tab if you wanted to. It just really kind of depends on your comfort level. Doing your entire screen is the easiest because then everything shows up on your screen. If you're not comfortable with that, you could either do a window that is either Google Chrome or, like I said, a document camera. Tab is the one that you just have to be most careful with. I'm actually going to choose that one. Shows me all the tabs I have open. I am going to just click share that tab. Now this goes away, but I can move that off to the side, and so now I'm seeing my screen again, and I can scroll through my slides on one screen, or if I had them side by side, I could do that. I could put this on one side and the presentation on the other. It's completely up to you how you want to set this up. Like I said, I would encourage you to practice and figure out what works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and stop the sharing for now. There's not a ton under these three dots that really apply to conferences. Maybe change layout. If you don't like the way things are looking, you can change that for yourself. Again, that's more of a personal preference. The rest of the things here you aren't going to necessarily need during conferences. If you do click on settings here, if you need to change your default microphone, you can do that. If you need to change your webcam, you can do that. So if you are adding in a separate document camera, you may need to come under settings and change it there. But the other ones aren't really anything that you'll need to use for that. This here, we're not going to use this now, but when you are done with your conference, you would want to end the call for everyone so that they can't get back in. So that's the bottom row. Those are the main things there. Again, share your screen, present now. If that's something you're going to do during virtual conferences, I would encourage you to test that out just so you're aware of how it works. And if you'd like to set up a time to do that with me, don't hesitate to set that up. It's better if you create the link. That way you're the host automatically. If we move over to the bottom right corner, if I click on the I, if you have a parent that at the last minute can't find their info, you can click on that letter I there and copy this link and just send it to them by email. You can also just click copy joining info and send that to them. The next button over shows who is in the meeting. from here. If you needed to, you could mute someone. The other thing that you might want to do is if you have a specialist teacher that needs to continue the conversation, even though you need to move on to your next meeting, if you click on the three dots here, you can add them as a co-host so that you can leave the meeting, but they can be in control. So if you want to try that out, that would be another option so they don't have to reschedule a meeting with the parents. Next one here is the chat room. It's probably best to keep that on in case a parent is having trouble with their microphone. That way they can type answers back and forth just kind of as a last resort. Or if you need to share a link with a parent, that might be another place to do it as well. These shapes down here in the bottom right corner, there's really not much that I can see being used during a parent-teacher conference, but just so you know that's there for future reference. The last one here is some host controls. If you scroll down, most of these you can kind of do whatever you want with. You want to make sure this one's on so that you can control the meeting. Share their screen. You could probably leave that on and so that you don't have to deal with another teacher wanting to share their screen. I don't see parents doing a lot of that, inappropriately or anything like that. But also just know if you're going to do this with kids, for whatever reason, there is the option there to turn that off. Send chat messages, like I said, we probably want to leave that on. And keeping on microphone and video is good. Under meeting access, please turn off quick access. When parents join via the pick a time link, that will allow them to ask to join your meeting. It'll also be best practice moving forward for other meetings. And the meeting activities, again, for this scenario, I don't know that you really need to do anything with those. So, all right, so once you've finished your meeting, it's best to click leave call and then end the call for everyone. That way it kicks everybody out. It will take you back to this screen, which then again, you could either return to your calendar to see which one's next, or if you click return to home screen, your next virtual conference should show up here. If you have any questions or you want to try this out, please don't hesitate to reach out.